Hey guys, welcome back to another Dragonheir Silent Gods video. In today's video, I'm going to be showcasing you another team for the Radiance boss in the Season 3 Chaos Shadows in Otherworld Exploration. Before I get into that though, I just want to say a huge thank you to Dragonheir Silent Gods for sponsoring this video. If you are interested in getting involved and playing the game, please do click the link in the description or the pinned comment and check out the game today. But outside of that, before we get into this, obviously I do just want to say that this is the easiest boss we're going to be facing, and the team I'm using is way overkill for it. So the Radiance boss is actually a boss you can hit with all elements and still hit the 22 million damage comfortably. I did so yesterday in my test runs. In my runs, I decided to hit the same boss repeatedly just to see how it went because of the boss being so easy, and I was able to hit 22 million damage on all sorts of different elements of teams. So I have previously shown one team on this boss that did 120 million damage. This one is not going to do that much, but it is still a very strong team. So let's jump into how this, the team I'm going to be using. So this is the 8th Chaos Shadow boss I'm going to be showing. So as you can see here, first of all, I've got Gander as my tank. He's built with a good amount of defense, wearing the Puppeteer set to increase everybody else's defense. Outside of that, he has enough accuracy to place attack penalty on his passive skill. And he's wearing the Rift Hourglass just to give him a bit more skill haste and speed him up. Next up, we have my healer, and that is Cypherus. So Cypherus is wearing the Ancestral Protection set, and she doesn't need enlightenment or anything, so she's just built with defensive stats. As you can see, a defense-based defense percent Moonlight Mantle. And she's also wearing the Solar King's Horn to increase everybody else's damage by 15% at 3 stacks. I will say, my Cypherus does not survive for very long. She's got nobody else to heal her, and she does just eventually die from her sacrificing her own health. But it's not an issue at all. Next up, we've got my enabler for this team, and that is Shinna. So Shinna is built with some crit rate, some crit damage, some attack, but mostly enough accuracy to land Witch's Remains for the defense penalty too. She's going to be funneling a large amount of ice crystals into my damage dealer for this fight, allowing them to obviously do a huge amount of damage and take us over the 22 million mark. But you could also build Shinna as a damage dealer and probably be able to use her on her own to get that 22 million as well. Next up, I've got Seedic, the Epic. So Seedic is wearing the Elite's Key artifact from completing Famiander Season 3. It's really not necessary for this team. Obviously, it only works for 20 seconds, but it's a nice amount of attack for my Seedic. So Seedic is wearing, is built with a good amount of crit rate, good amount of crit damage, and some attack as well. He's also wearing the Precise Carnage gloves for increased damage against defense penalty. Next up, we've got Girthin. So Girthin is my main damage dealer in this team. As you can see, built with, she only needs 80% crit rate. So I've got her built with that, a good amount of crit damage and attack, wearing the Ravatrix's Roots artifact, just to increase her attack even further. With her being an epic, she's getting 30% from this instead of 15%, and the additional 60% and nearly 7,710 HP. So in terms of the artifact, the mythical item, she's wearing the gloves that reduce your ultimate energy recharge speed, so 50% less, but it does give you a 35% damage increase. The reason for this is because of her being Ice Blast. If she's got an Ice Crystal, she's going to keep repeating that skill. So we don't actually care too much about her ultimate skill. We just want her to gain more damage from that battle skill, as she's going to be continuously spamming it throughout the entire fight. So obviously that is provided by Shinna being a very strong enabler, but either way, it allows Girthin to do a huge amount of damage. So I don't have an aura for this team or any skill timings. We're just going to let it roll, and I'll be back at the end of the run and we'll talk about how it went.
Rest in ocean deep.
Taste the power of magic crystal arrow.
My flesh and blood.
Face your fear.
The Wheel of Frost. Rest in ocean deep.
Taste the power of magic crystal arrows. Face your fear.
My flesh and blood. Rest in ocean deep.
Taste the power of magic crystal
The Wheel of
arrows.
Frost.
Face your fear.
And there we go. So we've come to an end on this run with 93.7 million damage. So way in excess of what we needed once again. So just to have a look at the damage there, obviously Girthin did 55 million, but Cedic did 23 million. So Cedic with an enabler would be perfect for completing the 22 million. Obviously most of the ice crystals here would be funneled into Girthin from my Shinna. So having somebody else and not having Girthin there would increase the output of my Cedic because he'd be getting more ice crystals. In terms of Sifris, obviously, she really didn't do much as a healer. She did die very quickly. I could replace her with an extra damage dealer and probably survive longer and do significantly more damage, but I wanted to throw a healer into each team because I wasn't sure what to expect, really. I actually planned all these teams out before the second month even began, just so I could begin getting them ready, which is why I've overcommitted and built more heroes than necessary for a lot of these teams. But either way, that's another team that is very capable of getting the 22 million. Obviously, artifacts dependent, you could lose a significant amount of damage, but there's so much damage to spare there that getting that 22 million is not going to be hard at all. And the only legendary damage dealer there is Shinna. You could use Bledin, you could use Nord as a replacement, as an epic or rare alternative, and the tank could be anybody. It does not have to be Urganda. I've just got him, so I used him. So that is all for this team. I do just want to say a huge thank you once again to Dragonheir Silent Gods for sponsoring this video. If you are interested in giving the game a try, please do click the link in the description or the pinned comment and get involved today. But other than that, just a massive thank you for watching the video today, and I will see you in the next one.